in blue for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Hello beautiful people, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those that are returning, if you're new to the channel, you can subscribe by pressing on this little button floating around, or down below on that red button that says subscribe. It would mean a lot to me and to have some support for artists like myself. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a mixed media illustration using the Prismacolor color pencils. Some of these are the Scholar Prismacolor, some of them are just the normal Prismacolors, and I have a couple shades that I already had bought previously, so I'm just going to be using the ones that I have. Also, for the mixed media illustration, I will be using the Ohuhu Markers. I got these from Walmart, I believe. This is the 24 pack, but I've used them a couple times as well, so I'm mostly using stuff that I've already used, so it's not much of a review, but just kind of a draw with me. And as you can see, there's some pretty colors, and the marker cap is actually pretty accurate, I would say. You'll see later I'll do some swatches in the video. And with that, let's get into my mixed media illustration. So I'll be using the Ohuhu 24 pack markers that I got from Walmart. I'll also be using the Prismacolor Scholar color pencils that I have, and since I lost my black one, I'll be using the Blick Studio color pencil in the color black. I'll also be using the Kimberly Drafting 4H pencil, CH Hansom sharpener, a jelly roll in number 08, I did not forget it this time, and a pink eraser. I'll also be using the Strathmore Sketch again, and these are just some swatches that I was doing. That's the cap color. So I really wanted to do this illustration of two women kind of holding one another and just smiling, and just a really nice piece that usually shows my style. So for this piece, I really wanted the woman on the bottom to be looking up towards the woman above her, and the one above would be looking over to the left, kind of distracted by something off to the side, since there's a bunch of butterflies floating around them, as you could see in my sketch, and I later do that as well in the piece. So usually most of my work is women of color, since I'm a Latina myself, and I like to portray different images of women that look like myself. And so I wanted to give these two women different hair textures that are seen in my own hair. So sometimes I'll have this very big curly hair, and sometimes I'll just have these loose waves, and I wanted these two women to portray kind of the two different sides of my ancestors. So finishing up this sketch, I decided to go over with a 03 Micron that I used in my last video to line this artwork. And here it is, fully lined. I didn't want to make you guys see the whole thing. It was just line work and just erasing those pencil marks to make sure it was clean and sharp before going over with marker and color pencil. So as you can see, I chose 3 different shades of pinks, a dark, a medium, and a light tone to kind of balance these out and create a background for the piece. Since there was a lot I wanted to do within the subjects themselves and these butterflies floating around and a lot of neon colors that I would be using, I wanted to make sure that the background was flat so these green plants would have something to pop off of. And using a contrasting color like a red with a green, or muting them down to an aqua and a pink, it would merge together very well. So as you can see, I filled out the rest of the background and went in with a red Prismacolor color pencil to just mix some of those spots where the markers didn't exactly blend and creating a softer tone between that lighter pink and the magenta pink to mix them together and make the background more cohesive. I also went in with a white Scholar Prismacolor pencil to create some highlights in the background where the light would be shining. So for these plants in the background, which most of you know by now is my favorite part, I wanted to do 3 different shades of greens and blues for these plants to play off of the top character's earrings and as well give some light tones to the one at the bottom where I would be doing her clothing yellow to match her earrings. I'll also be making their hair 2 different tones. The one in the bottom would be a light honey brown and the one on top I wanted to do not black, since I don't like to use black in a lot of my illustrations or too much white, and just use a lot of colors, not the absence of it or the negative of color, which is black and white. So the top one, I would make her hair more of a dark blue with highlights of a sky blue. So as you can see, I go in with the Prismacolors in different tones, some red, oranges, yellows, browns, and that Blick black color pencil to create different lights and shadows within the bottom subject's hair. And just like in the bottom one, I did the exact same thing to the top with just different shades, which were a sky blue, a navy blue, a royal blue, and a little bit of black. And using the same techniques as before, I picked my colors for the clothing of these two subjects. For the top one, using more lilacs and purples, and the bottom one using oranges and yellows to contrast different colors that I wanted to work within the skin tones that I had chosen already for them. You can probably see the pattern now. I put some marker, lay on some color pencil to create different highlights and shadows, and that's how I create different shading techniques, by using these mixed medias to my advantage. When I started coloring their skin tones, I started feeling a little hesitant, and I wish I had different colors in the Prismacolors, because I felt like it was really difficult to create a skin tone that wasn't too muddy or too light either, because I didn't want these characters to be kind of a peach skin tone. I wanted the bottom one to be tan and the top one a little bit darker, but it was really difficult to get the colors I wanted with these color pencils. And I'm thinking if I probably laid on some marker first, maybe I could have gotten the look that I wanted. But other than that, I think the top one came out alright, as you'll see later, but the bottom one, I don't think her skin tone was as blended as I would have wanted to be. So because I was so unhappy with their skin tones, I ended up going in with 2 different shades of markers, this one being a more peach color for the one in the bottom to try to make her a bit more yellow, I guess you could say, and the top one I used this honey brown that I used for the bottom one's hair to try to make her a more red orange tone to just darken it up a little bit. I wish I would have did the marker first and then color pencil as I said before, but I didn't, so maybe next time I will try out that technique. Now for my favorite part, we are going to use the 08 white jelly roll pen to create some different highlights in the piece. A lot of people say this is their favorite part as well. For me, I just think it brings the illustration to life, giving all these different highlights and makes the characters seem like they're moving and give it some movement to the reality of these characters and the space that they're in. Lastly, I went in with a Micron Pigma brush pen to darken up some things, just like the white jelly roll. I had some highlights. With this Micron, I would create some shadows for the piece as well. And there we go. Here is my mixed media illustration piece using the Ohuhu 24 pack colorful markers, as well as the Prismacolor Scholar color pencils, except for the black shade, which I used a Blick Studio color pencil. and I hope you guys enjoy and continue watching me for my next video. Remember to subscribe, like the video, comment if you'd like to, and check out my links below in the description box.